Hello and welcome back to the Poppy Palmer blog. Today I'm going to be doing another cake baking tutorial, and this is one of my absolute favourites. It's Banoffee Pie. It's kind of a cheats version because I don't actually make any of the individual items, but once you put it all together you can't really taste the difference, and it's super easy. So to get started, I have a cling film bag which I'm going to put 250 grams of biscuits into. They're actually gluten-free digestive biscuits. Can't really taste the difference. I'm going to put those in there, and then another half of another packet. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the air first, zip it up, make sure you don't miss that step, and just with a rolling pin I'm going to bash it until it's like fine crumbs. Oh, that works as well. You can roll it. A little bit more. Okay, that should be enough. As you can see, the biscuits have turned like fine crumbs. Some are still a bit bigger, but that doesn't really matter. Alright, if you haven't made too many holes in your bag, what you can do is pour the melted butter straight into the bag. And over here I have 125 mils of melted butter. It's also unsalted, and I'm just going to tip that into there. Maybe not use all of it the first time. And just stretch it up. Make sure all the biscuits get covered in that melted butter. And I'm going to tip the last little bit of butter in there as well. There we go. Alright, now I am using a loose base fluted flan tin. Again, I think it is 22 centimeters in diameter, which I find perfect. And I'm going to tip the cookie mixture into the base. Again, I'm not going to use all of it to start off with because it's easier to add more than take it away. And what I'm going to do is just push everything up to the sides. And make sure the base is completely covered. Okay, so as you can see with my very dirty hands, the base is completely lined to the bottom. And what I'm going to do is put that into the fridge for about 10 minutes until the butter's set a little bit. Okay, so my base is in the fridge, just setting for a moment, and the next thing I'm going to do is I've already got my caramel here, and I'm actually using Nestle Carnation Cook with Caramel. I know it's a cheats way, but you can get condensed milk and boil it on the stove for about 4 hours, but it turns out exactly the same. And because I'm not baking the caramel, I don't want it too runny. So I find this is the best thing to use. So I've got 2 tins here, and I'm going to pop it into my mix master just to give it a good whip. So just pop the caramel into a bowl. You don't have to use a mix master, you can just use a hand whisk. This stuff tastes so good. And you can use more caramel or less depending on how big a tin you're using. I like lots of caramel. It's my favourite bit in it. So make sure you get all of it out. That's just about it. Alright. Okay, and just on a low speed, I'm just gonna stir that together. So I've literally whipped that for probably about 30 seconds and it's just come together and it's really nice and smooth, and that's how I like it. So next I've got 4 bananas. They're quite small, so you could probably get away with using 3 big ones. And I'm just gonna chop those into slices. I've got a Wusthof knife here, they're really good. It's a little serrated one. And you don't want to cut them too thin. Okay, and we're nearly there. So next I'm going to take the base out of the fridge, and I'm actually going to put some melted chocolate over the base so it doesn't go soggy from the caramel, which I learnt as a really good tip. Okay, so the next step is to get the base out of the fridge, and what I've got here is about 50 grams of melted dark chocolate, and I'm using a pastry brush, and I'm just going to brush the base with the chocolate, and that keeps it from getting soggy from the caramel, so you can basically keep it for a few more days. And I like the taste of chocolate. Okay, so that's done. Now the next bit is to take your lovely whipped caramel, and I'm going to tip it into the base. Oh, it's so gooey. Definitely have enough caramel here. It smells so nice. Make sure you get all the last bits out of your bowl. Lovely. And just smooth it to all the edges. It's very full already. Yep. Okay, the next bit is to layer on your sliced banana. So I start at the outside and just work my way into the middle. It makes a pretty pattern. I think I might have the perfect amount. There we go. So that is the layered on banana. The last thing to do is just to whip the cream. Okay, so we've made our base, we've lined it with chocolate, we've put our caramel filling in, and we've put our chopped banana on top. And the last thing to do is whip some double cream. So here I've got some. And I'm probably only going to use half of this, and it is a 300 mils, so about 150 mils of double cream. Put the whisk attachment on. And I'm just going to whip that until it's like really soft, but holding its shape. So I've just finished whipping my cream, as you saw, and it's lovely and creamy and holding its shape, which is just how I want it. I'm just going to get that last bit off that whisk. If it wants to come out. And I'm just going to put it on top of the pie. Now it's quite full, so I don't just want to plonk it on, it's going to tip over the edge. And I'm just going to very gently push that to the side. Doesn't have to go all the way to the sides because it's quite nice to see the banana and the caramel underneath. That looks pretty good to me. Now the last thing I've got is some leftover dark chocolate from when we lined the base, and I'm just going to grate that on top. Using a little microplane. These are really handy. Okay, and that is my finished banoffee pie. Well, that's it for today's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it, and do try the banoffee pie. As I said, it's one of my favourites and it's really easy. If you've liked any of the products shown on today's vlog, please visit www.poppypalmer.com for the latest and trendiest bakeware online. Also, please follow me on all my social media, which I'll link down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll see you next week. Bye!